Okay, here is the upgraded deck tech for blue-white Weenie Tempo that I previewed in the last series of videos. So, updates to this deck. All right, I basically buckled down and got some Flooded Strands. Now, I mean, I almost think you can't consider this deck budget anymore at that point, since Flooded Strand basically 2 times the price of this deck. Just having these 4 cards made this deck twice as expensive. Like, I think if you actually do the math on that, 2, 4, 6, 8, or each of these are 4 actually, so 16 plus another 8, 24, and these cost like close to 40 tickets to get a playset. I mean, they're like they're like 9.5 a piece or more. So yeah, not quite double the price of this deck, but pretty close with just the Flooded Strands. But I think they're a necessary evil. I'm still running 1 island. I don't know if that's actually right or not. Since Flooded Strands can find Prairie Stream, I probably don't need island. But for some reason, I think having the option to leave up a turn 2 counter spell might be useful. I might just not need to run island, basically. But I'll leave 1 because I feel like it doesn't hurt the mana base too much to run 1. What else can I say about the changes to this deck? I'm trying another Disperse Out main deck. There were some good comments on Clash of Wills, and I think I agree with them. Clash of Wills, most of the time in this deck, is going to be a 2-mana 4-spike, which is just not that good. Leaving up a blue and another open mana so I can 4-spike for 2 mana, I don't think is good enough. Whereas Disdainful Stroke stops a lot of powerful spells in this format. And basically, what I like is the things that I can't take care of with Disdainful Stroke, I can take care of with Silk Wrap. So like all of the little creatures that I need to stop that are 3 or less, I just kill them. And then all of the big spells like Siege Rhino and Board Wipes, I stop with Disdainful Stroke. I still want Negates because they stop cheaper removal and they also stop a lot of the same stuff. There's basically some overlap with Disdainful Stroke. And I have the additional 2 of each out of the sideboard so I can change accordingly. We'll try another Disperse because I like the idea of like Silk Wrapping Anafenza the Foremost, and then they play another one, and then I disperse my Silk Wrap. They have to sacrifice 1, and then I replay Silk Wrap. So basically, I can use Disperse as a removal spell. Pretty narrow, I understand. But Disperse also feels pretty important as a tempo card with a bunch of cheap creatures. I'm still going to try Treasure Cruise, especially now that I've added the Flooded Strand. I want to see if that helps at all. I don't know. I've had some moderate success with a 1-of Treasure Cruise, and I like having another one out of sideboard against the blue-black board white-B decks or whatever. Also switch some sideboard stuff. We're trying another Dispel. We're trying 2 more Disdainful Strokes, like I said. You should really use the same art. The only reason I'm not is I wanted to use my sweet promo Disdainful Strokes. But yeah, if you have a question on why you're supposed to use the same art, basically it comes down to if your opponent, say, reveals a card in your hand and they see you have Disdainful Stroke, and then let's say they make you discard a random card and you discard another art Disdainful Stroke, that's where it really comes up where it's like, oh, he's got another Disdainful Stroke in his hand. Whereas if all of your art was the same, there's no way your opponent would know that. So that's just one example of why you should use the same art for everything. Especially for lands too, which I'm sure I'm not doing. But anyway, we're also trying Suspension Field out of the sideboard. It seemed like there were some 3 toughness or greater creatures like Mantis Rider that were a problem. There's actually a lot of creatures that lock down our army just because our army is so, 2/1s. We have an army of 2/1s, basically. So we need to either be able to power out a bunch of dudes and get in for enough damage profitably early, or Silk Wrap away the early blockers. And that can be difficult. So here's the upgraded list. We're going to do some more playtesting. I still am not quite ready to do a daily with this yet, but rest assured we will be doing dailies with this. Some great suggestions from you guys to start it off. Let's see how this deck performs with these slight mods. We'll see how Disdainful Stroke plays in place of the Clash of Wills. I think it'll work better. We'll find out. We'll see you in the first round. Okay. Round 1, we have the choice. Yeah, we'll keep this. Not quite as quick as I'd like, but certainly good enough. I don't see a ton of incentive to play Prairie Stream tap turn 1. I don't think it really matters, other than it gives my opponent information. See if we're playing against the red aggro, possibly. Gonna open with Onofenza. All right. So likely just playing against the green-red. Oh, maybe not. Maybe an Ascendancy deck? Could be. Or red-blue something. Opponent is pretty close to getting Jace online already. But Disperse is actually reasonable here. So next turn I can go another Lieutenant plus Disperse, which doesn't seem horrible. All right. Manus Rider is going to be a bit of a problem. So it looks like we're going to have to disperse that one. Or Silk Wrap off the top. That would have been good. All right, let's go Lieutenant number 2. And I think we disperse here. So what this does is lets us get in with Lieutenant. Likely, I probably should have just dispersed first and attacked, so he didn't know about the Lieutenant. Okay. So Jace is going to come online. Definitely want to rip a Silk Wrap or even another Disperse off the top. That would let me... Well, problem is he can flip Jace and then flashback or do the Wild Slash ability to kill my Consul's Lieutenant. Oh, well, he kills it that way instead. Disdainful Stroke currently not looking great in this match. Opponent's got more cards in hand, better board presence, and we're out of action, so not feeling hyper confident about this match, or this game rather. Well, I don't really need the value of Knight of the White Orchid, getting the extra land or whatever, so I guess it's unimportant. Might as well play the land out, just in case my opponent makes me discard. Although it's instant speed, so it would have been better to hold the land, actually. So if my opponent uses Kolaghan's command during my draw step, they can actually make me discard whatever I draw. So I actually should have held the plains. Wild Slash and Kolaghan's command. So those are two spells I can dispel. Definitely want to rip a removal spell here. Okay. I think we want to bring in Dispel. Seems better than Negate, I think, because it's just cheaper. And we do... I mean, he's played basically all instants so far. I think we're probably going to dump the Disperse. Probably. I mean, admittedly, Treasure Cruise looks good here. So, got to attack Jace. We're not in a position to race him yet. All right. Well, we have another Silk Wrap. That Treasure Cruise came up huge. So we have Disperse up. We have another Silk Wrap. All right. So let's attack Jace. I don't think I mean, I guess all this time I could have dispersed Jace, but now that he's got another one, not sure that I want to do that. I think now I Silk Wrap his Jace. Play another Envoy and pass. This way, I can build towards killing Jace. I can bounce things. Alright, so we bounce our Silk Wrap in response. Main deck Dispel is pretty interesting. So now I guess I need to top deck my 4th Silk Wrap or we're just dead. Negate. Yeah, I don't think negates are as good as Dispel in this matchup, just based on the fact that we saw all instants. So, we're not actually dead. I don't think that's the right move. So we get to flip Kithian, we get to make Manus Rider attack it. This only buys us temporary time. We do have negate though. trying to think how much I like Treasure Cruise in this match. Like I said, it came up pretty huge there. Silk Wrap does take care of Jace and Manus Rider, so we're leaving those in. The question is, how many Surge of Righteousness do I want to bring in? I'm not exactly sure. Dispel's got to come in, though. Don't have much time left here. And he gets another Jace. I guess we're just dead then. He flips Jace and then... Yeah. Okay. So we'll bring in the Dispels. Dispels seem great in this match. I mean, he's rocking like all instants. No sorceries. So I think Negate's definitely less good. So we can just straight up cut Negate. And Disdainful Stroke's got to go too. The only one, yeah. So Disdainful Stroke, Negate are both gone. You could have just, I guess, Kolaghan's commanded us too, but it doesn't matter. Both ways work. All right. So let's cut the... Oh, it's already sorted? Okay. Let's cut Negates. Let's cut Disdainful Stroke. We can do Suspension Field instead of Surge of Righteousness, but life gain actually seems kind of important here. The problem is Suspension Field doesn't take care of the Jace. The little Jace. Or big Jace. So, Dispels are coming in. Let's bring at least 2 Surges in, I think. Hoping that's good enough. Do I need to cut Disperse? I don't love Disperse in this matchup, actually. It's okay with Jace. It's okay in response to removal, but I think I'd rather just have hard removal. I'm trying to think how much I like Treasure Cruise. I mean, Treasure Cruise played well for us there, but do I want to bring in another one? Should I assume my opponent's bringing in board wipes or something? Basically, I don't love Disperse in this match in general. I'm trying to think what my opponent's siding in, you know? It's got to be some sort of... Is he going to bring in Arc Lightnings and then my Dispels are going to be the worst? We'll find out. I'll learn my lesson for the next time if that's the case. I feel like a third Surge of Righteousness is a mistake, though. Let's bring in... I could bring in 1 Negate for, like, Arc Lightning. And because it stops a lot of other nasty stuff. We'll do 1 Negate. I think we got to keep this. Like, if we rip a land, this hand's just insane. We don't get to find... We don't get to find the Prairie Stream turn 1 because we actually have to make turn 1 plays. We'll play Kythian because if he has Wild Slash, I'd rather him kill one of our 2 Kythians. Definitely want to rip a land here. Ripping a land there would have been pretty nuts. Actually, I guess I should have played Envoy, because Hunter works with Woe Reaper. But then again, I don't really want to gain the life. I'd want to set up for Treasure Cruise a little bit more. Definitely want to rip a land here. Although he can't flip Jace anytime soon. Prairie Stream. Jeez. All right. I think there's a good chance he board wipes. I'm still going to play another creature just because we're sitting on a grip of him. Oh, I forgot to use Gids. That was a mistake. So I guess I should have +1'd. I should have +1 made indestructible in case my opponent's got a damage board wipe, like Convergent Flames. Ojutai's Command. Okay. I can dispel that too. So yeah, I would have +1 and made, guess, Dragon Hunter indestructible. What can Ojutai's Command do again? Alright, let's just go for the win here, I guess. Wow. Alright. Crush my opponent there. Game 3, Dispels are just nasty in this match, so I definitely want those. I think the 2 Surge of Righteousness is okay. It's the Manus Rider is so good against us that I need to justify Surge of Righteousness. But Suspension Field doesn't seem... the life gain actually seems relevant. See, the bonus of Suspension Field, though, is I don't have to let him block first. There's a chance Suspension Field's better than Surge, actually, now that I think about it. Because they're just for Manus Rider anyway. Although, this lets him Utter End. But I guess if he's going to Utter End, he's going to hit Silk Wrap anyway. Well, let's try the Suspension Fields instead, I think. Everything else seems fine, I guess. God, these one-landers, killing me. I think I'm still going to keep. On the draw. Want to mulls again. Very good land draw there. I'm trying to think if this is one of those rare cases where I'll search up a blue mana. Or island, rather, because then I can actually hold up Dispel. I might actually do it, but then again, double white is so important for us that I'm not entirely convinced that'll be the best. I kind of want to leave up Dispel, though. Yeah, alright, well. Let's play Flooded Strand, swing. I guess it's not like I'm in a rush to do it. Alright. Let's find our one of island. Let's dispel that. Let's play... Oh, one sec. Okay, sorry, I had a phone call there. So I attack. I'm going to play Kithian, and then I'm going to pass. So what's nice is we have answers for Manus Rider. I guess I'd almost prefer to draw another land, but if I can, okay, opponent missed on that one. I'm not going to play the Knight. We're definitely leaving up counter spells here now. Having Dispel, Negate, all this nonsense is definitely good for us. Looks like just our opponent's getting mana screwed. Oh, I like how I said I'm not going to play Knight of the White Orchid like I could if I wanted to. So do I hold up Negate? I don't think I do. I have Dispel. I'm going to hope he doesn't have a sorcery speed board wipe. If he does, see the problem with not making a play there, if he did, is that I wouldn't be able to kill him. Now I can just kill him. And we got the land, so we're going to rip that too. And this just gives us the full protection we want. So now we get to go Silk Wrap, take care of that, and bash in. All right. All right, got the win on our mana screwed opponent. I think our opponent's deck was definitely a good one, so that was no easy walk in the park sort of match. We did get the win, though. I think the sideboard plan worked well. The Dispels came up huge there. I didn't mind looking at Suspension Field there either. It actually seemed okay. Anything else worthy of mentioning? I think that's not like a match that we win every time. Absolutely. I think our opponent getting mana screwed games 2 and 3 was tremendously helpful since game 1 they slaughtered us in a pretty efficient manner. So definitely feels like Silk Wraps are one of the most important parts of our deck. Okay, well, we'll see you for round 2.